Just in case people think I have forgotten about the regional mayors, of course, Luke Campbell and Andrea Jenkins, don't worry. Guess what we're talking about today? As I've said before, there is so much going on, and there is probably about even more stuff going to come over in the next couple of months that there is going to be generally I'm going to be spoilt for choice about what insane nonsense is going on these reform councils. But of course, least we forget, they are in charge of two regional mayoralties. Andrea Jenkins, why haven't I done any updates on her for a while? Well, quite frankly, nothing has changed. She's busy swanning about in a mayoral role while, well, not doing anything on this, to a point where you look at like the YouTube channel that they've set up for her morality, and yeah, she's putting videos about she's going here to do this and this, and then you have a look at the live streams where it's like the meetings, and some of them, the meetings they can't even have because she hasn't turned up. She's not even there. Only recently she asked, can she actually have more money for her position? Because apparently she's not getting enough. Yeah, so that's Andrew Jenkins, usual. Maybe at some point we'll have to do a like bumper edition of what's going on with Andrew Jenkins at some point, but we'll see. But we're talking about Luke Campbell because I've said for a while, Luke Campbell is in this awkward position where Hull and East Yorkshire, the region he's in sort of charge of, has had a lot of investment, and the councils there are wanting to invest a lot in the green energy and green industries because they are getting a lot of jobs out of that. Meanwhile, of course, Luke Campbell, Reform UK, whose leadership from Farage and Tice are saying, yeah, don't even bother investing into green industries or anything like that because when we are in power, that's all gone. Meanwhile, there's something about 200, like 2,000 jobs plus, maybe even more, growing from this industry in that sector where he is. And Luke Campbell is in this awkward position where he's like, I like green energy, but I don't like green energy, but oh, I like green energy because he keeps on flip flopping constantly over this question. And sooner or later, he is going to trip up over it because he will either A, have to toe the party line at some point over something, which might mean a lot of potential job losses or investment losses for his region. So it is literally TikTok for when that happens. But we're going to cover this because he was recently, once again, asked to clarify what his position was on green energy. And remember this for the books from what he said last time was, well, you know, bit lukewarm. Well, this time it's like, who doesn't like clean air and green energy? And it's like, so yeah, we really should be like, I don't know, keeping some sort of board and with like a barometer as to what Luke Campbell thinks about net zero and green energy on any given day, because honestly, he's flip flopping over it like crazy. But anyway, let's go more into this. But before we do, please do, of course, remember to click on the like, share, and of course, the subscribe button down below as well. And of course, don't forget to ring the bell as well so you get notifications of when we go live or when we drop a new video. And thank you very much to all those people who do help and support the channel. And like I say, with the new YouTube algorithm, etc. changes, please do remember to leave a comment or hit the like button as well. It will really help out the channel. And of course, as always, down below, there are links to my Patreon page, the Buy Me Coffee link where you can, well, buy me coffee, the YouTube thank you button, and of course, as always, there's the YouTube membership as well. So let's crack on then into today's video. So over we go to Hull Live with this. Oh, what's this? Luke Campbell. Who doesn't like cleaner air and green energy? This is at some point is going to be his comeuppance. This is what he's going to get him. Honestly, it is, really is. So the mayor of Hull and East Yorkshire has now said that he is all for creating jobs in any sector and proclaimed, who doesn't like cleaner air and green energy? His comments came now at a meeting of the Hull and East Yorkshire Combined Authority, or HENCIA, of the Overview and Scrutiny Committee. Again, we're going to have to maybe watch that at some point because that might be quite fun to watch. When Labour councillor Shane McMurray, who represents the Central Ward on Hull City Council, sought to actually clarify Luke Campbell's views on renewables, which some say he doesn't easily now align with those of his own party, Reform UK. In the months, of course, following his election as mayor, the former Boxer's opinion on green energy has been a topic now of much discussion. The intrigue, of course, into Campbell's renewable stance is now rooted in a perceived conflict between the interests and aims of the combined authority at which he heads and that of his party. One of course, Henkier's 4 principles, stated on the authority's own website, is to deliver a sustainable future. And Mr. Campbell's party has committed to scrapping net zero policies on a national level. Since being elected back in May, Campbell has now openly supported parts of the regional's renewable sectors, such as now visiting and even offering support to Virgo Fuels, the crisis-hit bioethanol company, which was described by its managing director, Ben Hackett, as being now a foundation on which the UK's green industrial growth can now be built. And yet he does this, bear in mind, he goes and sees these people, and then what do his own party say? It's so out of step because he is trying to straddle this line because he knows his area gets a lot of investment from this. He knows it. Not only that, but councils have to apply through his authority in some cases to get even some of this, net zero money and stuff like that. So is he going to stop a council applying for like stuff which might be really good in solar panels, maybe help bring down energy prices, etc.? Is he going to put the kibosh on that? I don't think so. And if he does, he'll be questioned about it when you can just bring this up. But Mr. Campbell, you said who doesn't like, greener energy, This is going to catch up to him. I said this since the very beginning. This is going to catch up to him. It's just a question of what's going to be break first. Is he going to break first, or is it something that the party is going to sort of force him to do? But anyway, back to this. In addition, then, to that support, Campbell even said that he was now delighted after the combined authority secured a £700,000 grant from the government's mayoral renewables fund. This money will now fund renewable projects to reduce Hull City's councils and East Riding Council's energy costs over the next 25 years by installing solar panels on buildings at various sites. Something, bear in mind, we've just seen Durham County Council say, yeah, we're not going to do that, and just go, which is going to cost Durham money in the long run. Anyway, despite, of course, this support, Campbell later then warned renewable energy firms now to act at your own risk in response to a letter from Reform UK's deputy leader, Richard Tice, sent to energy firms stating that a government run by his party would then reassess all net zero related commitments. When a member of the public asked Mr. Campbell's views on the letter, the mayoral said, "I don't have any solutions. I am not an expert on green energy." Oh dear. In a bid now to, of course, try to attain clarity on the mayor's stance on renewable energy, Councillor McMurray told Mr. Campbell that in the region there is now a lot of green jobs and we don't have any oil refineries or any oil fields in this region. He added, if people are going to benefit directly from energy jobs, it is going to be from green energy jobs. The Labour councillor then also said, I know that you have said some positive things about this, and your party has said that some things are now seemingly very negative. So, is there anything that you can now say to give reassurance to people who work at Siemens, who want now a career in the wind farms and jobs like that? Campbell, of course, then said, the mayor of Hull in East Yorkshire should, of course, stand for the people. It was the people that, of course, elected Luke Campbell into the place to stand up for represent them the best I can. And if that is creating jobs in any sector, then I am for it. Who doesn't like cleaner air and greener energy? I do, and I'm all for it. But then him immediately saying that puts him almost directly opposed to his own party on this. It's madness. It's something sooner or later has got to break on this. Councillor Murray then said in response to the mayor's response, saying, we will give a lot of now reassurance to a lot of workers and a lot of people who want to work in that industry, at least in this region. I will see. We'll see. But make no mistake, this is something that is going to come back and haunt Campbell. Like, this is something that is going to come back and haunt him, these statements, sooner or later, because something is going to happen. Either A, a reform government's going to get in, and which is then going to put him at odds, because you've got all this green jobs and investment going on in that area, in that sector, and he's Mr. Oh, I'm standing up for the people and their jobs and, you know, their job creation. What does he do if a reform government comes in and gets rid of that? What does he do if his party says, yeah, you can't be saying that? As it's been said a lot of time before when we talked about Campbell, he is being puppet mastered by other people behind the scenes. And I think sooner or later, maybe, who knows, we'll maybe get another something of him saying where he's sort of disparaging green energy, or at least net zero, or he'll say something like, well, I'm not for net zero, but I am for green energy. Which once again will just show you how much he is like walking the line on this question. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think down below about this. If you are from that region, do let me know what you think of your mayor in this regard on this as well. By the way, he's still trying to hire people for the positions who walked out a couple of months ago now. So, yeah, the whole of East Yorkshire creating this new authority is going great. Anyway, we are going to have to watch that scrutiny committee, because I can guarantee that will have come up at some point during that meeting. It has to have done. Anyway, as always, thank you very much for watching. And of course, as always, we'll see you all next time.